Wet roadways are impacting your commute, and we always know that, you know, early in the morning, people are getting up. It's already busy, and when you throw some rain on there, it's next level.
Well, it only takes a little to throw traffic the wrong direction around here. And we've seen so much rain over the past few days. Is there like any glimmer of hope for us?
Over the weekend. We've got a few more days to go. And it really is just like what we're dealing with this morning. Nuisance, damp drizzle. It's not even raining that heavily, but it is just enough to really make the roads wet and slow down your morning commute. And the good news is throughout the afternoon, really throughout the late morning hours, we'll clear out any leftover drizzle. It's just going to be cloudy this afternoon and dry. That's the case for the next several days, but it is not going to be bright and it is not going to be sunny. So radar does look dry, but this tells me otherwise. We've reduced visibility because of low clouds and fog. That's producing just enough moisture, just enough drizzle that we are going to need to give yourself a few extra minutes for the Tuesday morning commute. Visibility down to less than 3 miles in Westminster, less than 5 miles for Hagerstown, down into Gaithersburg. Reduced visibility around the district as well. Some really locally dense fog over toward Front Royal. Now throughout the afternoon, we'll clear out any leftover drizzle or light scattered showers. It will be dry but chilly. Temperatures well below normal for this time in September. As we look ahead toward tomorrow, mostly dry for Wednesday. Some light drizzle is still possible because of that northeasterly flow. We'll talk more about why we're seeing this dreary pattern coming up in just about 10 minutes. But we will see some clearing tomorrow afternoon, and then Thursday we do it all again before we have a slightly better chance for showers on Friday. Those details coming up. But first, we do want to see what slowdowns Lindsay's tracking this morning.
Oh, Caitlin, what area is not slowing down right now is the real question. It is a mess out there across the board, but especially here on the outer loop of the Beltway in Chevy Chase, where we now have a 20-minute delay leading towards Connecticut Avenue. So that applies to you if you're trying to get to 270 or if you usually cross through that area to continue onto the outer loop of the Beltway. Let's break it down so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So you can see this backup. This was an earlier accident. First popped up around 5 o'clock this morning. Delays have been building up steadily since then. So we do have those delays spanning all the way back past New Hampshire Avenue now. So if I were you, I would try and hop off of the outer loop of the Beltway before those delays really start building up. You've got 410 or east-west highway to get around those delays. After that, if you need to get back onto the outer loop, feel free to do so. That's the only issue that I'm following there. And then in southeast, we have one other new accident on 295 northbound right at the 11th Street Bridge. I'll have more details here and your updated drive times next. Wisdom?
All right, 6:02 is the time right now. Once again, we are facing a looming government shutdown. Come Sunday, the federal budget will run out and the government will shut down if lawmakers can't reach a deal on a spending plan or a short-term fix. We know this will impact so many people right here in the DMV. Matt Gregory joins us now in the newsroom. And Matt, walk us through what's happening today with those negotiations on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, Wisdom, here are the three things we're hearing this morning about those negotiations. First, lawmakers in the House are back in session today after a brief recess. And second, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says the House will move forward with several spending bills. But here's the thing, they're long-term bills and they're not likely to make it through the Senate and pass. And third, today the Senate will move forward on a bipartisan short-term spending plan to avoid a shutdown. But as of this morning, that plan isn't likely to pass in the House either, which means workers here in the D.C. region are still heading towards a government shutdown. So let's take you through who this will affect. Well, in our area, nearly 500,000 people rely on federal jobs. Around 438,000 workers work between D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. That's according to the Office of Management and Budget. So if the government shuts down at midnight on September 30th, those workers will be furloughed. Those workers, although, live all over the DMV, but remember, you have to file for unemployment where you work. So here's a look at the benefits offered by each. D.C. has a weekly maximum payout of $444. Maryland is set at $430 a week, and Virginia at $378 per week. We talked to D.C.'s unemployment office yesterday. They tell us they're already bracing for a surge in unemployment claims. Now, if the shutdown happens, the office says to start filing at midnight, October 1st, so as it turns over. So here's some good news. If a shutdown happens and workers are furloughed, those workers can receive back pay once their work resumes, because after the last shutdown in 2019, Congress passed a law guaranteeing that pay following the shutdown. In the newsroom, Matt Gregory, Wisdom, back to you.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. And by the way, a government shutdown could also have a big impact on our nation's national parks, including the National Mall here in D.C. And unfortunately, we've been here before. Coming up in 5 minutes, we'll verify the impacts that we've seen in the past and what we can likely expect this time around. Allison.
6:05 now. Today, President Joe Biden is putting his pro-union stance on display by joining the picket line with the striking United Auto Workers. Union members first walked off the job 12 days ago at a small group of plants to demand better pay, a 4-day work week, and other benefits. In a move the White House is calling historic, President Biden will meet with union members in Michigan. His visit comes a day before former President Donald Trump also plans to rally current and former union members in Michigan. The former president is skipping the second GOP primary debate tomorrow night to be there. Annie?
6:05, a group of teachers in Prince George's County say they need more protection from students in their own